This is a disaster. It shocked us all. There are no words.
It was just a waterfall cascading down with water and mud.
We all take part in the search for the missing people.
In our place, the whole road full of water, all our animals, all our crops been drowned out.
We started running, and that landslide behind us immediately threw us out into the street.
On November 26, 2022, heavy rains triggered a massive landslide on the volcanic island of Ischia in Italy. As a result of the incident, there were several casualties and about 11 people went missing. A strong flow of mud and boulders caused considerable damage to the local infrastructure. In particular, it destroyed buildings, demolished parked cars, and tour buses. In some places, parts of the island were buried under a layer of mud and debris up to 2 meters high. People were locked in their homes without water and electricity. Rescue work was hampered by poor weather conditions. More than 200 people were evacuated from the area where the landslide occurred.
We woke up from a roar and did not know if it was an earthquake or lightning, thunder, because we've had earthquakes here before, so we've already on the alert for who's going there. Unfortunately, this time too, we are getting worse and worse because you do not have time to get out of one problem as another one appears.
It was just a waterfall cascading down with water and mud.
We are heartbroken. However, it happens every 3 or 4. It happens. There are problems. There are missing people. There is a casualty. It's sad, really sad.
I'm really sorry. This is a disaster. It shocked us all. There are no words.
We all take part in the search for the missing people. I was especially struck by the words of one of the young people from our parish, from our community. They are our brothers. And therefore, let's say, the expectation is very anxious, we are very tense.
4:30 in the morning, we heard the roar for 1 second, and if it were for 2, then we would be dead. Just a second. Praise the Lord that we're alive.
One of the most important international problems of our time is global climate change. In the last days of November 2022, anomalous volcanic activity is recorded on the planet. On November 28th, on the island of Hawaii, the largest active volcano in the world, Mauna Loa, reminded of itself. It slept for 38 years. The USGS said that the eruption moved from the top of the volcano to the northeast rift zone, where fissures are feeding several lava flows. Scientists report that increased seismic activity has been recorded on the volcano since September of this year. The frequency of earthquakes increased from 10 to 20 per day to 40 to 50 during the same period. 2 days earlier, one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, Cotopaxi, woke up in Ecuador. On November 25th, the seismic network began to register tremors associated with strong gas and steam emissions. The ash column rose to a height of 8 kilometers. The volcano erupted in 2015 the last time, while it was silent for 70 years before that. Another hotspot is the San Miguel volcano in El Salvador. On November 27th, it began to emit gas, steam, and ash up to 14 times a day. Residents of nearby communities are advised to wear masks. On the same day, Mount Etna was active in Italy, when a new eruptive fissure opened at the base of the southeastern crater. And in Kamchatka, the Shiveluch and Klyuchevskaya Sopka volcanoes began to erupt simultaneously. Severe storms swept across the southern United States. About 40 million people have been warned of dangerous weather events. Numerous tornadoes passed through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The whirlwinds left behind destroyed buildings, fallen trees, and downed power lines. Overall, at least 23 tornadoes were recorded on November 29, 2022. Casualties were reported. Brazil, December 1st to 2nd, 2022. State of emergency have been declared in Santa Catarina state due to flooding. Hundreds of families are stuck in their flooded houses. Nearly 8,000 people have been evacuated. There are injured. Several people have lost their lives. More than 20 municipalities have issued emergency decrees. A few days earlier, a huge mudslide slaughtered Parana, burying vehicles and people. In 2022, a rapid increase in large-scale floods is observed around the world. The last days of November were no exception. On November 26th, heavy rains caused flooding in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Many of the country's water streams had reached dangerously high levels, and the longest river, the Caroni, has overflowed its banks in parts. Residents of more than 40 settlements were affected.
Most of the times when rainfall like this, we have nearly 4 feet of water in our place. The whole road full of water, all our animals, all our crops been drowned out. Most of the animals get damaged, real damage. Some pass away, some still, they fighting with the water. And so, people in the back by me, they have nearly chest height of water. Still season here, like 2018, we get one about 2020, and then we come and get this one here now.
On November 27, after heavy rains, the streets of Libyan capital became more like rivers. Cars and first floors of buildings were flooded. The statistics of large-scale floods in November 2022 indicate that the water force raged on almost all continents, leaving behind destruction and taking people's lives. In Europe, such countries as England, Scotland, France, Spain, Italy, Greece, Montenegro, Albania, and Serbia suffered. In Asia, vast regions of India, Syria, Iraq, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia have been underwater. In the Americas, floods hit the Dominican Republic, St. Lucia, Panama, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, and Brazil. Part of the Australian continent and many African countries were also flooded. In early November, at the 2022 UN Climate Change Conference, the head of the UNICEF delegation, Paloma Escudero, stated the following: "This year, we're seeing an unprecedented level of flooding around the world. And with it, an unprecedented increase in threats to children. The climate crisis has become a reality. In many places, floods have occurred that have not been observed in the life of a whole generation, or even several. Children today are suffering in a way that their parents have never had to suffer. And on November 12, 2022, the International Forum, Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity took place. The information, facts, and statistics presented at this forum showed not only the real situation with the climate on the planet, but also the importance of uniting the scientific potential of mankind to find a way out of the situation.